Montreal is my favorite city in the world, but it's just one piece of the amazing province of Quebec. If you are visiting Montreal and you're looking for the best places outside the city, you need to go to Quebec City. This amazing city is a historical gem unlike any other in North America. From distinct architecture to unique culture and cuisine, Quebec City is incredible. But is it doable to visit it in one day from Montreal? Let's check it out. Getting to Quebec City from Montreal is quite easy. It takes a bit less than 3 hours by either train, bus, or car. I personally prefer going by train since the streets in the historic district are quite narrow and you won't be driving around either way. If you do decide to drive, the drive is quite straight, passing through plains and mountains. If you don't have winter driving experience, I wouldn't suggest you make the trip by car in the colder months. I highly suggest that you park your car at one of the car parks by the waterfront. They're only $18 a day and are well situated. I've linked them down in the description. Whichever way you decide to come by, you will be arriving in the lower town. If you don't know, Quebec City is built around a hill with a steep cliff around its perimeter. This makes for a very distinct upper town and lower town. Fear not, the cliff is not that high and is easy to go up. So now that we're here, what can we do? Right in front of the car park is the amazing Quebec Museum of Civilization. Since this is a day trip, we won't be visiting the museum, but I highly suggest that you visit this museum if ever you are visiting for a few days. At that, I do suggest you pop in to check out the gift shop. Interestingly, the shop is located inside the vaulted cellars of a house built in 1751. It's worth a visit for the architecture alone, but it's a great stop for gifts or souvenirs. Again, all the places we will visit are linked in the description below, so consider following this channel while you're down there. Most tourists spend their time in the upper town, but the fact of the matter is that the lower town, also known as Old Port, is filled with fantastic things to see and do as well. For example, the waterfront with its beaches, parks, and even observation tower. There are many great restaurants, which I suggest you hit up after traveling a few hours. I recommend you try out Buffet de l'Antiquaire, which translates to Buffet of the Antique Dealer. This is my go-to brunch spot, which has been serving up traditional Quebecois classics for over 50 years. When you arrive, you feel that authenticity, that simplicity and charm from the past. If warm out, by all means sit on their outdoor terrace to take in the beauty of the neighborhood. The food is generous, the staff kind and humble, a great spot to get a feel for what Quebec City is all about. Once you're done eating, keep heading east along St. Paul Street. You'll find a bunch of small local shops you can browse through. A short walk further, you'll see this curved cobblestone road. This is where we'll start to rise up to the upper town. A lot of people walk here, but cars can still pass, so be careful. Up the street you'll climb up a set of stairs, and that's it. We're now in the upper city, Old Quebec. This is one of many ways up. There are stairs, roads, and even a funicular that can bring you between the upper and lower Quebec City. At the top of these stairs is where we really start to appreciate how the distinct geology of the area shaped the city into what it is today. Yes, there are cannons here, and we'll get to why later on. So follow the road right in front of the stairs to make it to the heart of Old Quebec. It's such a beautiful and tranquil area. This is mainly a residential and university neighborhood, so a lot less tourists in this area. So enjoy the peace while it lasts. Heading in the same direction, wind your way through the streets until you reach Montmorency National Park. It's the perfect middle point between the Old Port and Upper Town. You have a great vantage point in either direction. At this point, we're going to keep heading towards the castle, Chateau Frontenac. This is truly the heart of Quebec City, the icon of the capital. A bit of history. The castle is actually part of the Fairmont Hotel and Resorts collection, so you can stay here. For over 125 years, this hotel has welcomed guests, including royalty and state leaders. Queen Elizabeth II, the Princess Grace of Monaco, and more have stayed right here. During World War II, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and Canadian Prime Minister William Lyon Mackenzie King held meetings right here. Notable stars who have stayed at the hotel include Paul McCartney, Celine Dion, Sting, and so many more. It is technically only reserved for hotel guests, but you can easily access the hotel if you want to peek at the common spaces. Simply enter by the courtyard, and you'll be in the gorgeous lobby, covered in fine wood details, crystal chandeliers. It's truly a wonderful hotel. You won't get far if you aren't a guest, but there are shops and restaurants that are accessible to the public. Next, we will leave the hotel and start exploring the surroundings. Head to the right to check out Terrasse Zufrein. This long boardwalk offers the best views of the lower city Old Port, and of course, the giant castle hotel right beside. There are also all-day-long street performers on site ready to entertain. Don't forget to tip at the end of the performances. A great place to take a break before continuing on with your day. Try one of the ice cream stands while you're there, sit in the park, and just enjoy. We're going to make our way to Old City Hall, where they are hosting a New France festival. There were people dressed up like French settlers from the 1600s with traditional music, food, and items on sale, and giant puppets? I'm not 100% sure, but either way it was a blast. Like Montreal, Quebec City has a lot of festivals, and it is a fun city with great energy and life. The area around City Hall is also the main shopping and dining district in Old Quebec. So head to Rue Saint-Jean, located behind City Hall. Needless to say, but don't forget to take the time to appreciate the beauty in the city, as well as to read any plaques that talk about the history. A must-see for me is Simon's, a historic retailer in the city for over 185 years. From there, keep heading east to explore the street. It's a fun stretch, a great place to stop for a snack or meal. At the end of the segment of the street, you will reach the Quebec fortifications. Remember those cannons from earlier? Well, there used to be a defense system in place to protect the city from invasions, which included cannons and fortifications. So yes, Old Quebec is a walled city. You can actually go up the walls to explore and view the city. How cool is that? I walked along a small section, and since I'm here only for a day trip and time is limited, I decided to come down at St. Louis Gate to continue at street level. Crossing through the gate will bring you to the National Assembly Square, with its elegant fountain that leads to the magnificent Quebec Parliament building. They offer free guided tours of the Parliament building, the price I like, but since time is limited, we will just be appreciating the exterior today. As we enter into the evening, we will walk down Grande Allée, which is a great place to slow down. There are many bars to take a drink and enjoy the summer evenings. There's also a public square where they host many festivals, such as Just for Laughs Comedy Festival that was in town when I visited. A great show. After a moment there, watching a few performances, the sun started to set on my day trip to Quebec City. I decided to take one last stroll through Old Quebec around Chateau Frontenac, and then that was it. My time in the city was up. So that begs the question, is it worth it to do a day trip to Quebec City from Montreal? I would say it depends on how long you're visiting Montreal. If you're here for, say, just a few days or a weekend, I think you're better off just getting to see as much of Montreal as you can. If you're in Montreal for a week, then I would say it's worth it. The truth of the matter is that one day is not enough to really appreciate Quebec City. It's an incredible city that deserves at least 2 days or 3 to properly appreciate it. For example, on this day trip, we couldn't take time to visit a museum or the Parliament, or to explore the wall fortifications or the waterfront in the lower city. There are so many other neat places there simply was no time for, like the Plains of Abraham, the Petit Champlain Street, the Citadel of Quebec City, and so many more. If you don't live far from Montreal and can easily visit, then I would suggest you avoid a day trip and plan a few days in Quebec City. But if you're visiting Montreal from afar and might not get another chance to visit Quebec City, then by all means set aside a day trip to see it. You'll be leaving there wanting to see more though. Have you ever planned a day trip to Quebec? If you liked the video, subscribe for more Montreal tourism guides. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.